What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla. I'm going to talk about what's going on with the QQQ and SPY as the market's holding up quite nicely and what levels you should watch for going into today. Before I break anything down, let me just mention that I am not a financial planner. Take none of this as financial advice. Also, don't forget about the Webull link. The offer ends very soon. Deposit any amount of money and you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. Don't forget the offer ends tomorrow, so check it out before they run out. All right, anyways, I do apologize if I talk a little bit too fast in this video. I'm going to try to get through a lot of information. To start us off, don't forget that at about 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern time, we have consumer confidence coming out. Then at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, we have the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. Lots of data is coming out between 10 and 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Expect more volatility during these times, but as long as the market continues to hold the trend it's on, continuing to pump, we could see the market continue to pump afterwards. As long as it continues to do so, the odds would greatly favor the bulls. Now, to add on to this, okay, there's news about how the Asian markets were a little bit weak, very, very nuanced. But despite that, the US markets are still very strong, continuing to pump on high hopes of the debt ceiling lifting off, and that is good news. As far as Tesla goes, there's new news that came out about Elon Musk being open to expanding in China once again, and he is going to be making more trips to, I believe, Beijing and other parts of China. He's open to expanding Tesla's capabilities over there, and that is technically very mixed, but more good news for Tesla. It's mixed because the relations between the U.S. and China are not always the best, but it's for the most part good in a way because as long as things don't escalate too horribly, this could continue to be good news for Tesla because China has a lot of specialization in manufacturing techniques, especially more affordable labor for lots of different companies, which will greatly benefit Tesla, and this is helping it pump as well. So anyways, let's talk about some key levels. As long as Tesla holds above 200 to 198, this previous resistance, which is now going to become support, as long as Tesla holds it, it's going to continue to pump, and it's going to likely retest 205 to 207, but it needs to hold above 200 at the very least. The MACD is wide open. The RSI is a little bit overbought, but overall it's looking more strong, and Tesla's continuing to break above 201 at the time I'm recording this. Now, if it breaks below 200, watch 198. If it fails there, then there's this gap all the way down to about the 193 area, which is likely going to get filled if 198 ends up failing us. But for now, it's looking relatively strong. It's holding quite nicely. We need some confirmation first to see it hold. And as long as it holds, it has the potential to retest 205 to 207. Right? It's looking very nice. If it breaks 207, it could even go to 210. We have a gap up there, which is going to act as a magnet. The odds are favoring more upside for Tesla for now. For SPY, as long as it holds above 421, it's going to look relatively strong. We have some resistance around 422.5, but overall, it's not as significant as the resistance at 425 to 426. The odds are favoring us likely retesting this upper resistance right here over the next few days, if not as soon as today, depending on how much we pump. But let me just note that the MACD is weakening right now. We're losing some momentum on SPY. It is a little bit overextended, so it may just trade a little sideways for some time before making an attempt to the upside. The support to watch for, there's some support at 422. The strongest support's around this 421 area. That's going to be the major support. As long as it holds above that, it has a great chance at pumping. But if it breaks below 421, watch 420. And then if that fails, 418 to 417.5 will come next. However, for now, it looks like momentum is weakening a bit, so we may see some sideways price action to open this up. But then, we may get some of those like Johnny come latelys, people starting to buy like crazy, seeing the debt ceiling news that helps this thing pump a little bit later. As long as it holds above 421, there's a good chance that it's going to eventually make its way up to 425 to 426. As long as it holds above 421, you have to be watching for confirmation. All right, guys, the odds are favoring more upside later on as we are looking relatively strong, but always be open-minded, okay? As far as the QQQ goes, the odds are also favoring more upsides, looking very strong, but it is weakening on the MACD a bit. RSI is a little bit overbought. What I'm seeing is it depends on the levels, okay? If we hold above this, let me see, this support around 352, as long as we hold above 352, this thing has the potential to retest 355 and maybe even higher than that, 357.5, then 360, as long as we hold above 352. If we break below 352, we may see this thing retest 350 flat, and if that fails us, there's a gap all the way down to like 349 going into like the 348 or even lower than that. Okay, those are support and resistance levels to watch for. The odds are favoring this thing, maybe not getting the strongest of opens because once again, we're losing some momentum on the MACD. But if we get lots of those like buyers once the market opens, once we start to see people FOMO in, this could pump this thing even harder. The odds favor it pumping more. It's just a little bit overbought right now, so I'd be careful. But the odds are still favoring this thing trying to make its way up to 355. Okay, but once again, watch for confirmation. The MACD is looking a little bit weaker than before, so be careful on this. But overall, just watch those levels very carefully. Okay, but it does look like it's greatly favoring upside because of other things. Like if you look at Aapl is currently at 177.73. I told you guys if it broke 175 and held it quite nicely, we could see a retest of 175.5 to about 178. That's exactly where Aapl is right now. If it breaks above 178, it's going to fly to 180, which is going to pump the markets more. It's pumping right now as I speak. However, if it breaks down, watch supports around 177 flat. If that fails us, it's going to make its way all the way down to closer to like the 175s. It's going to likely get closer if it fails there. There's also a gap down to like 175.5, followed by even lower levels after that. But for now, it's pumping and holding up quite nicely. The MACD is wide open. There's no sign of weakness. A little bit overbought, but once again, that doesn't always matter too much to the markets when it starts pumping. If Aapl breaks 178, watch for that 180 and watch that pump the QQQ and SPY if that ends up being the case. Nvidia is very strong right now. A long wick right here is telling me there's a lot of strength and lots of buyers stepping in. A little bit overbought though, but the MACD is just barely opening, so that's a good sign for Nvidia. If it breaks 410, we could make our way all the way up to 415, break that, then 420 could come quite quickly. If it breaks down, okay, watch support. The major support to watch for is 400, break below that. Then we have this 396 area. If that fails, it's going to make its way all the way down to about 390 flat. So we have to watch these levels very, very carefully. It's very important to watch them. For now, Nvidia is looking relatively strong. There's no true sign of weakness. We could chop a little bit into open looking at this MACD, but it looks to me like it's going to try to retest 409. If it breaks that, it's going to fly and likely get closer to like 420. But for now, it's looking quite nice. Just get ready, guys, and watch for confirmation. Watch your levels very carefully, and that's what I have for this video. All right, guys, wanted to make this quick. I really appreciate all of you. Don't forget about the Webull link. The offer ends very soon. Deposit any amount of money you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. And watch support and resistance on Tesla very carefully. It's barely at 200 right now. Needs to hold this level. If it holds it, it has potential to fly more. But make sure you guys are careful. Make sure that you are going to remain very, very conscientious nonetheless. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Tesla on the market to the moon as the long term is still incredibly bright. And I'll be back in just a couple of hours for the next video. Thank you and peace out.